that, and it's almost like a lament when John tells the story that his father was gifted. Well, you tell the story. It's your dad was gifted the car.
Go ahead.
And it was a black '57 fuel injected Chevrolet two-door, not a hardtop,
okay.
but a coupe.
It was a 150 sedan, the 57.
All right.
It was called the Black Widow.
Yes.
They made 90 of those cars. Yeah. You had to have 90 to be able to run it in NASCAR.
Yeah.
That was the way it was. And
did they give it to your dad for Pikes Peak?
Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
Cost $1.
Which you gave me.
Yeah, I just gave you $1 for wearing my shirt today.
Yeah, right. And
Peter Boyles is wearing a Bandimere Speedway shirt, and he got $1.
I wear this on my motorcycle all the time. Wear the shirt, and it's a hoodie.
There you go.
So your dad's gifted the car.
Yeah, he's gifted the car. They get it all ready. They go up Pikes Peak with it. They race it. That was the year that Ford came out with the 57 that was supercharged with a McCulloch. And they actually, Unser, one of the Unser boys, won the race. We were, I think, second or whatever it was.
You talk about a group.
Yes. Really good. But anyway, the car was really neat. And, of course, I'd been making this wash and shine. And I asked my dad if I could have that car. Had a roll bar and everything in it. And he said, yeah, I could have it. And so we got married in 1961.
Here's the kick.
And Lorraine and I took the roll bar out, and I had roll-and pleated seats put in it, and it was just really a neat car.
Yeah.
And we raced it on the street a lot, had all kinds of fun with it. And then when we got married, she wanted a house, and we had all these cars.
Yes.
So I thought, well, maybe we better sell a few of them. So made this deal for a 67 Pontiac 67 Pontiac
convertible
Le Mans.
Yeah.
I made a trade. I thought it was a great deal at that time.
Yeah.
Till today, that car that I gave up for this Le Mans would be worth about $3-4 million.
No, honestly, I mean, I remember one. No, it was a knockoff. It wasn't even a real one.
Right.
Went over the block at Barrett Jackson, I think, and I called John on the phone. Mm-hmm. And they got it was a replica, and that went for tonnage.
Yep.
And I thought, does every once in a while you see one of those cars for real? They show up, and are they private collections?
I don't believe that there's probably more than a couple of them left.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of my John Bandimere but they're real stories. And did you ever have a bike that you got rid of that you thought, what was I doing?
No, I've got one bike that's a pretty famous bike and worth a lot of money. It's a Yamaha TZ750. It was most people never heard of it. It was a bike made specifically for racing. They only built around 300 of them, and I got one. They were kind of a deal with those bikes. They were very difficult. If Yamaha didn't want you to have one, you didn't get one.
There's a metal called unobtainium.
Mm-hmm.
And they make, I'm sure they make, I don't know if they make car bodies out of it, but they make race bikes, right?
Well, a lot of titanium is in a lot of stuff anymore, but that bike was, it was just something very special. It was a 4-cylinder, 2-stroke 750, and it dominated. In fact, it was basically unbeatable for 5-6 years.
How many places did you race it?
Oh, a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The answer's a lot.
But primarily what has really done it, I set the 750cc world land speed record with
That's what I thought.
And it still stands, and that was in 1975.
Was it 191 or something?
Yeah,
what did I read?
yeah.
191 miles an hour?
Yeah, and I've still got that bike. And that's, it's famous.
Okay,
and it's
now
probably worth a lot of money, but it's kind of a funny story is because my son, of course, he raced a lot too. Yeah. But then my grandson, when he was about, 8 or 9 years old, and he said, well, Grandpa, when you die, Daddy gets the TZ, right?
Yeah.
And I said, well, yeah, that's right. He says, and when Daddy dies, I get it, right? I said, slow down a little bit here. I'm not ready yet.
All right. We're setting up this question, but I because of my relationship with John, I've been able to talk to a lot of top fuel pilots, and one's calling the show this morning. But when you talk to guys, and I've talked and I said, what is it like at? And it was, I forget who you brought to me and said, I wish I had the 2 seats, and you had the 2-seat ride.
I did.
That we're going to talk about. But I'm going to ask you this after the pause. What's it like at 200 miles an hour? I mean, it.
You know, everybody thinks it's this thing, but
I'm getting the call to. Can you hold it till after the
Sure.
break? And then John, and your daughter called me, and you got the 2-seat top fuel ride.
I did.
After all of these years, both of them coming up in studio. It doesn't get any better. Bill Vickery and of course John Bandimere. And after we swing the top of the hour, we'll open the phone lines up, and we got a good caller. Hang on, everybody. 710 KNUS.
Your 710 5-day forecast on this Saturday will have the sunshine and some breezy northwest winds that'll get to around 20 to 30. Highs upper 30s and low 40s with lows upper 20s this evening, and then temps could rise through the 30s. Highs on Sunday in the low to mid 50s. Some brisk winds as we end the weekend, but it will be dry with another front dropping us to the upper teens for lows Sunday night. Martin Luther King Day, sunny, highs mid 40s, upper 50s Tuesday. Meteorologist Don Watzel in the 710 KNUS Weather Center.
The band and the weight. 710 KNUS on a Saturday morning, the 17th of January. The off-air conversation is every bit as the on-air conversation with Bill Vickery and John Bandimere and Peter Boyles. 710 KNUS. Big Bronco Day, but this is a wonderful, wonderful show. The fellows are here with us, and we were talking. Both of them have these experiences that it was John Force. John Bandimere brought John Force into our studio at KHOW Radio, and I cherish it. Also, you brought Big Daddy in.
Mm-hmm.
That was an experience.
Yes. By the way, Big Daddy just had the cochlear implant.
I saw that.
And he can actually hear for the first time in probably 25, 30 years.
Garlitz is like the legend.
92. 90.
Is he 92?
Wow.
And he had all those swamp rats, and John said, "Would you like to talk to him?" I said, "Would I like to talk to him?" And the only person that ever asked me for money, two people asked me for money for interviews. This is the truth. One was William the Refrigerator Perry. He was showing up at a car show. And I thought, what am I going to talk to him about? And I wouldn't pay him anyhow. He wanted $1,300. And Shirley Muldowney.
Mm-hmm.
Shirley wanted money. Cha-Cha wanted money. And Daddy saved her, didn't he?
Yeah.
He brought her in. Tell that. We just recently lost her, did we not? Is she still?
I don't know. She's still.
She's still with her? Okay.
She's with her.
But she was the woman top fuel racer.
Yes.
She was it.
Oh, yeah.
And there was a movie called Heart Like a Wheel, and it was a real good film. Yeah. And was she just that cloistered that if you wanted to talk to her, you wanted to pay for it?
Well, she felt that what happened is that she's the one that brought women into the sport and had won all the races. And, of course, she was the only, in a sense, and you got to really look at it truthfully, she did beat up on the boys pretty good.
Oh, real good.
And so she kind of took that to heart, but she just got to the place where she thought that she was worth something. And,
yeah, of course.
And I that's the one thing I've always liked about racing in all categories. Most of the racers, if you want a signature, they'd give it to you. I mean, they didn't like to have it right before the race, that type of thing. But I mean, they were very open, and to me, when somebody wants to charge for an interview, then they must think they're pretty special.
There's only two in all the years I did this business and was in this business, and I thought, what am I going to say?
You are paying us $2,500 a piece, right?
I'm
checks
waiting for the check. Yeah.
Checks outside. And one of the most interesting things ever said to me about racing is I was in Sturgis, and I got to talk to, and again, when you think of that stuff, I got to talk to Dale Jr. At an all-night Sturgis-esque blowout, and I have a way backward that I knew him. A guy, David Allen, was his father's PR guy and was there when his father died, and so I introduced myself that way, and that I knew David, and we had a long conversation. And he said, "Here's what they don't understand," and I apply it to both of you. He said, "We do it for free." He said, "But they pay us." Mm-hmm. We would do that, and I thought, 200 miles an hour in Talladega on the wall swapping paint. He said, "Oh yeah." What do you? I mean, both of you guys, we do it for free, Mr. Vickery.
Yeah,
we did.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah. But no, that's really true. I mean, you do it because you want to be the best.
Yeah.
And obviously only very few ever really achieve that particular thing of being the best. But it's something, and I look back a lot. And when I was growing up in Central City, I'd read Hot Rod Magazine, Cycle Magazine, and all they talked about was Bonneville, Daytona, and Pikes Peak.
That's it.
Right.
And I said, I don't know that I said it, but I remember thinking, God, how cool would it be to win those races?
Yeah.
And
I can relate.
Yeah, and it pushed on you, and I don't know that it actively did things to me, but I pushed really hard to win Pikes Peak. I never won Daytona, but set records at Bonneville, so this is something that happened to me when I was 10, 12 years old.
Yeah.
And it put something in my brain. But the racing thing is, everybody thinks it's a bunch of wild guys, pushing on the throttle or twisting the throttle and just going crazy. And it's very precise. It's concentration. I mean, I've known a lot of guys that were really fast in a short term or something, but to being able to concentrate really hard for a really long time, that's what it is. And have the desire. I mean, obviously the desire is the overwhelming thing. And and that isn't uncommon. I mean, everybody who's any good at anything has a lot of desire and a lot of concentration.
You bet. No, it's you want to add to that what you've watched those guys come and come again. What does it cost to take a top fuel car out for a season?
Oh, I would today. I'm not even positive. All I know is that they're all asking for $3 to $5 million sponsorships. So,
what was it when your dad opened that track when they were front engined and the slingshots? What do you think they cost to go out for a year?
Usually about $1,500, something like that.
Oh yeah,
in that neighborhood.
I just got this new car that I don't know how to turn the radio on. I mean, you Ben, what?
My wife tells me that all the time. I have a 2018 car. I still don't know all the stuff that's in it.
Do you know everything? Well, yeah.
No, I got a pretty new truck, and it's like, it's just like everybody's got their cell phone and all this fancy stuff.
Yeah.
I want a phone that rings and I answer it,
Yes.
or I push a button and I can make a call.
Yeah, yes.
All the rest of it, I just.
Well, this is self-driving. This car's self-driving.
Right.
Have you had that experience yet?
Oh, I just had breakfast this morning with Larry Graber, and he's got a Tesla, and he lives up in Highlands Ranch.
Yep.
Got in the car and it drove him all the way over to Fox Hollow all by himself. He never touched the wheel.
These guys took me out on I-70 in my self-driving car, and I'm behind the wheel, and they said, hit this button, do this, how fast do you want to go? And then it drives you.
Yep.
And then there's a over the steering wheel column, and it looks like back when 54 Fords it said park, and then it would R, and then it would be an N, then it had a D, and then it had an L. But there's nothing in the housing. And I said, what's that? And they said, it's watching you. I said, what? And they said, no, the car's watching you. And in case you're self-driving and you fall asleep or whatever you do, the car's going to wake you up. I went, no. See, look at you. Yeah, I mean this is on the level. I mean, sitting out there, it's like, okay. Back almost 40 years ago, I did some self-driving.
Yeah, what's the big deal?
Yeah, what's wrong with this?
Going on for years.
All right, so what is it like at 190 miles an hour, 191 miles an hour, and you're hanging on the handlebars?
A lot of the guys that I know that had raced, we call it slow-mo.
Yeah.
Your brain goes into some mode, and you're concentrating so hard, and the speed doesn't. It's like slow motion.
Yeah.
And you know when you're racing hard and you get into that mode, and it almost seems like you're up above watching it happen.
No, I believe that. Sure.
It's but it's like say just slow mo, and it is I don't even know who I got that from, but somebody else who races, and you start talking with each other, and yeah, that's when you get into that mode.
What MPH does it go into that mode?
I don't think it really.
Because you're not really looking at miles per hour, are you?
No, it doesn't really have to do with speed. I think it has more to do with concentration. That you have to be so good and so precise and make no mistakes. And I think that's something that happens in your brain to put you into that mode.
When I've seen the bike, and I've seen your bike, there's no indicator of miles per hour.
No.
You're just.
Yeah. You go to a race to be the fastest guy there, whatever that may be.
That's the story of no mirrors that we can tell later. There's no mirrors on this, no.
Right.
John, I know that Tammy told me that you took the ride.
Mm-hmm.
Tell the story, please.
Went to Ohio to a racetrack that was a non-sanctioned facility because Larry Dixon couldn't run the car at a sanctioned track. They wouldn't sanction it. It's a two-seater top fuel car. It was a very interesting experience for me from the standpoint that I went there, we got in the car, they fired it up, warmed it up, and
What was the engine?
it's a 500 cubic inch Chrysler with a supercharger and makes about 13,000 horsepower. And the real neat part there is when they got ready to shut it down, they cracked the throttle, wow, like that, and it just shook your whole body.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
So then we get in and we, the story's way too long, but Larry and I were getting dressed and ready to get in with all the fire gear and everything, and I'll come back to that in a minute. So we go out and they say, okay, it's time to go. So we get in the car, they tie you all down, we have the Hans device, everything's, you're tied in. And we're the next pair of cars to go, and there's some Pro Mod cars that are running, and one of them crashed, hit the wall, and completely demolished the car. And so here we are sitting for 45 minutes in temperature around 80, 85.
I didn't know this. I didn't know this part.
That was what was tough. Because the thing is if I'd have been claustrophobic, I'd have been right out of that car. But Lorraine and them were there, and they kind of kept giving me a little bit of air.
Did they take your helmet off?
No, everything stayed on.
Wow.
And so then finally we're ready to go, and he does the burnout. And the burnout was probably as neat of experience as was the race, going down the track. Because as he did the burnout, the car just seemed like it lifted up.
Oh, yeah.
And
well, the tires get skinny.
excuse me, and then he hits the brake. And I've always watched them stop, but I didn't realize how fast they stop. So,
Well, isn't
bam.
that the problem? They start to lose the eyes.
Yeah.
Your eyes start to go.
So we back up. He stages the car, and I could see the stage out of the side. And he went to the pre-stage and then stage.
You only saw about 20,000 of these from the other side, right?
And honestly, from that point on, this is what it was. It was like, and it was done. It was just amazing. And I mean, so I got down there, we get out of the car, I said, Larry, when did things slow down for you? You know, what you were talking about. He says, John, from that crash, there was a Zeus fastener on the racetrack, and I could see it.
Oh, man.
Everything slows down for him. For me, of course, I said, well, how many? He said, it usually takes 2 or 3 or 4 runs before you start to slow down. And then everything slows down for you. But it was, the experience for me was the most exhilarating experience because I got to share Christ with Larry Dixon. And that was the most important part. I didn't realize, I wasn't there to just make a ride in a top fuel car. I was there to share the experience of Christ. And that was what was so cool. And so that's a long, long story.
No, it's a great story.
And because I asked him, I said, Larry, what happens if this thing goes flip diddy when we're going down the racetrack? And I said, are you going to heaven? And he says, well, I hope so. I said, that ain't a good answer. He said, why are you asking me this question? I said, because you're driving.
That's right.
It was great. It was awesome.
And that was so what was the miles per hour? Do you know what he did?
Yeah, we went 255 miles an hour in 3.3 seconds.
Wow.
It's 8th mile, just a short little spurt.
255.
Yeah, he said it was probably about 270, but because they stay on it a little longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, the speed was not as much as it was the acceleration.
Could you feel?
Sure. About 5 Gs taken off,
yeah.
And honestly, when he hit the chutes, it was about 5 Gs
Pulling back the other way. Yeah.
And I can now understand how Garlitz and Shirley and Amato and all those guys all have torn retinas.
Yeah, they do.
Because they didn't have all of the Hans device and all of the stuff to hold them in the car like they do today.
When I think back to like your dad at his prime when they were racing, and back early on when you're watching those guys that you're watching, Bill, I just watched that movie in Sturgis, and there was nothing. Nobody was running protection. Nobody, and I remember going to drags as a kid. That was a big highlight. And going to the dirt tracks, and just hanging on the fence and watching. But they didn't have any equipment. They had one. Who enforces the equipment when you? I got like a minute to a break.
Well, let's go back for a minute
Okay.
to midgets. Okay. To Ray Cook.
Yeah.
Those midget race cars, those guys sat in them, and their head and their shoulders and everything was above the roll bar.
Yep.
So if they ever rolled, and it killed them.
Not uncommon.
It killed them.
Those Indy roadsters back
Yeah.
in the 40s and 50s. Those big roadsters.
I think over the years it's just this is football day, right?
Right.
Look at the helmet.
Oh.
The way that the helmets have changed to make it to where guys don't get.
These guys were like wearing leather stocking
Yes,
caps.
right.
I got a break. We're taking a break. Bill Vickery and John Bandimere, Peter Boyles phones will get lit up here in a second. Hang on, 710 KNUS. morning, everybody. We're going to open up the phone lines now. 303-696-1971. It is a Saturday. It is a big Bronco day, January 17th, 2026. 38 will be the high today. In studio, two of the best, John Bandimere and Bill Vickery, and the off-air conversations are great, and guys talking about these amazing experiences. And one of the things, before we could start going to the phones, I'll start with Mr. Bandimere. How do you look back on your life? Because we're old guys. All three of us are old guys. I call myself the luckiest guy that ever lived. How do you see yourself in this experience?
Right now, honestly, with the new facility that we're putting together, I really am concerned that I just finish well.
Thank you.
I want to take and leave. I want my kids and my family and all of them to understand and realize how important it is to live your life, not for all the things you achieve, but for what you really have done to help others, to understand. You know, it's hard sometimes to really have a family that stays together, if you know what I mean.
Yes, I do.
And so it's been it's been great. I'm thankful.
Bill, yourself, and what an amazing life and career.
Kind of same thing, you know. I can't knock my life. It's been fantastic. Lots of good things have come my way, you know, that maybe I deserved or didn't, you know.
Yeah.
I always look back at my wife and I'm the luckiest guy in the world.
Amen.
You know, both of you guys.
Amen.
Both
Yeah.
of you guys.
Most women, they got to be number one all the time. And my wife knew how important racing was.
You
She
guys
told
would
me,
pack up every weekend.
race day, race is number one.
Yeah.
The rest of the time I am. And, you know, we've been married for 62 years now, and it's
What's
fantastic.
What's the highlight?
Oh, I you know, it's hard to look back because I'd had a lot of them. I can't whine about anything going on.
First one that you went, damn.
Well, probably when I started my business. You know, I didn't have much to go, but I was working at actually Curlin Motors was a car dealer down Denver, and they took in Yamaha motorcycles. And I was working actually at Barry's Restaurant and Coors Porcelain at that time. I was working 2 jobs trying to make enough money to do something. Yeah. And they wanted me to be a mechanic down there, so I quit working at Coors Porcelain and went to work down there. And then we worked there about 3 years. And the Yamaha rep came in and said, there's a dealer out east that says he's got cancer, and he wants to get out. He says, do you think you can put it together? And even though I had saved money by working 2 jobs, that meant I had 29 cents instead of 10, you know. And I said, I don't really know. But Jack Barry, who owned Barry's Restaurants, was a really good friend. And I talked to him about it. He says, I'll help you, Bill. Wow. And so he co-signed for me to build our first building.
Where was that?
That was at Iliff in Havana. It's only a block from where we are now.
Yeah.
And actually, funny story, he came out one Saturday after, we were open and everything, and we were selling motorcycles like they were popcorn, you know, and Jack says, oh, Bill, we got to open another one of these. So we did open another store. It was J&B Yamaha up on 102nd in North Washington. Wow. And then Jack sold out his restaurant and ran that for a while for about 10 years till he retired. And, without that going on, I called Jack my dad.
How did you get a dealership? I mean, how did you get the...
Back then, the Japanese, they were just coming into the United States. This would have been, I think they started in 65 or 6, and this was about 68, So actually getting the dealership was, the cost of the dealership was buying out, Hugh Hopman was the guy who had that. And that was $20,000 in 1969 or 70. That went to him, not to Yamaha. Now, today's world is a different,
I was going to say
deal. It's a whole different deal.
It's like guys that get a Ford franchise. And that ain't cheap.
Yeah,
that's
so,
cool.
You got to be able to have the facility they want, and it's a whole different world now.
How your highlight, and then how you ended up with the NHRA coming and sanctioning the Mile High Nationals. How did that happen?
Well, actually, what happened is that we'd been running the facility, and my dad passed on, and it just got to the place where it needed to have some upkeep, you might say. And
Did they come to you?
Yeah, our national event that we had before we rebuilt everything. They told us, this is the last year. We just can't come back if you don't.
Was it called the Mile High Nationals
Yes.
then? Okay, all right.
And so, but afterwards it became the Mopar Mile High.
That's
National.
what I remember.
And
yeah.
see, Mopar has been with us for 35 years.
Chrysler.
Yeah, Chrysler. But I got what he was just sharing about his wife. Behind every successful man is a great woman.
You.
And we're
Both
both
of you.
we're both in the,
Lucky.
we're both lucky.
Both of you
Yeah.
guys. Both of you. Beyond
Yeah.
whatever anybody wants to say.
Yeah.
So what was the highlight?
Of my life, my highlight.
Yeah.
Well, it wouldn't be automotive. The highlight is the platform that we have, and that is the platform of racing and the family and the relationships that we've developed with those people in having the opportunity to share the Lord.
Bill?
Oh, kind of the same thing, highlight of my life was marrying my wife and having the kids,
Yeah.
That's just what it is. There's no two ways around it.
And both of you don't talk about the machines. That's interesting.
It's
Family is what it's all about.
yeah, it's a tool that helps you get there.
Now, if I ask you the highlight that was connected to cars and bikes, it might be another answer, a different answer. Not trying to take away from the power of the first answer, but
Yeah.
Well, I think the highlight right now today has been the Dodge Demon. I really enjoyed it.
You know, he has one of those, and he loaned it to his granddaughter. We'll tell that story. How much time we got here? We got 2 minutes. Dodge gives you a Demon. Now tell folks what a Demon is.
Well, they don't give it to me. We bought
Okay,
it. But
all right.
a Dodge Demon is a Challenger car, supercharged engine, and makes about 850 horsepower.
850 HP.
However, I got a new one now called a 170.
I didn't know you were going to know.
and
it.
it's 1,150 horsepower.
Yeah,
But
we
it's
haven't raced it yet.
It has got 2 keys though.
I got a chance to take Lorraine for a little burnout
bet you
ride
did.
on the last day of the racetrack, so that was fun.
Now, it has 2 keys:
Yes,
the slow key and the fast key.
black key and a red key.
So your granddaughter comes to you.
Well, I had to get a certain amount of miles before they would put all the performance stuff in. Okay, it's because it's all electronic. So I said, "Honey, you live in Pueblo. Please drive my car down there and back. That's 250 miles. We'll get to 1,500 miles on it pretty fast that way." She said, "Okay, I'd love to do it." So she takes it, and I give her the red key fob, and she comes back and I said, "Oh, it was just awesome. I'll do it anytime." I said, "Well, take it again." So she picked up the black key fob instead of the red key fob, and she drove it. And she came back in my office, and she threw the key fob on the desk, and she says, "Papa, if I'm driving that car, I want the red key fob."
She smoked it.
Oh, yeah.
You can imagine. You put your foot in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't know you got a new one.
Yeah, Sporty worked it out. Both of them are number 60 out of, 3,000 or whatever.
Wow.
And this one's only got about, it's sitting in the garage waiting for us to do something with it. So
I'll go with you.
yeah.
Seriously, I want to go with you, both of you guys. I want to follow you around. I'm going to do this. I think we're close to we're pretty close. We're going to shut it down, open up the phone lines. Lines are lit up, 303-696-1971. We already got jammed up lines. It's Saturday, January the 17th. This, of course, is John Bandimere and Bill Vickery. It doesn't get any better than this. Come back with your calls, and I got to call a friend here. This is 710 KNUS. We are Denver's talk station, and when we come back,